I rise tonight to speak on the Raise Our Voice in Parliament campaign, as some of my colleagues have done so previously. This campaign gives the youth across our nation the opportunity to have their voices heard within the Parliament. I'd like to thank all of the young people who have participated this year. Some 600 submissions were made, and they've partnered with 46 members of Parliament and 22 senators from across the political spectrum. We may have our points of difference in this place. However, I believe that each and every one of us all acknowledge the importance of involving young people in our political processes. I believe that we should always be open to the idea that there is more that we can be doing to involve young people in our political life and engage with them. Having said that, I'm very happy to be standing here tonight to read a speech that was put before me, a speech with some very topical and current observations. This speech has been written and submitted by a young man, Mr Alexander Batchin from Macdonald College in North Strathfield. I commend Mr Batchin on his thoughtful and observant comments, and I hope that he will continue to take an active interest in the goings-on in this place. So without further ado, this is Mr Batchin's speech. 2020 was a challenging year for young people, and 2021 has shaped to be much the same, albeit with a light at the end of the tunnel: vaccination. Young people have felt the brunt of coronavirus restrictions and were most affected by lockdowns. This was the case due to their employment often being in industries impacted the most by lockdowns, be it cinemas shutting down or wearing masks at Woolworths. While young people have been left at the end of the queue for vaccinations, although on sound health advice, with more of the general population, including young adults, becoming eligible to be vaccinated, I implore young people across Australia, and especially in my home state of New South Wales, to take this incredible opportunity afforded to them and protect themselves, their loved ones and their communities from the vicious scourge of COVID-19. Our generation has the capability to act based on science like none before. It is time for Australia to move out of the darkness of the past 2 years, characterised by disunity, lockdowns and fear, and for us to move forthrightly as a nation, not divided but united, around a shared set of democratic values to tackle the big issues that this place was meant to debate without the spectre of COVID haunting us any longer. Vaccination is the path out of this pandemic, and it is up to each of us how far we walk. Now, after reading that, I think you'll agree that what I've just read contains some extraordinarily perceptive commentary. As a mother of teenagers myself, I can attest that the pandemic and the accompanying restrictions have taken a very heavy toll on young people. I'm very sympathetic on this issue, and I think in this place we should all be mindful of the challenges faced by our young people, particularly those at school or who've just entered the workforce. I'm particularly alert to the difficulties faced by our senior students who are trying to sit their final exams this year, and I wish them all the best, the very best. And they should take pride in the fact that after 2 years of lockdowns and school shutdowns, that they will be able to graduate this year, hopefully, and hopefully lead a very successful and fruitful life. This speech also touched on the employment and economic challenges of the pandemic for young people, and I know that's been very difficult. So I commend Mr Batchin and all his counterparts and friends, and I thank them for their patience, and I thank them for rolling up their sleeves and coming forward. It is a good reality check for us to be hearing from young people, because there is still so much more we can do. Thank you very much, Mr Batchin.